Hey, good morning, folks. Welcome to the Morning Coffee Commentary. Boy, several years ago, some friends of mine, probably been about 10 years now, were at Alberts Pike. I believe is the name of the campground up in Arkansas. Flash flood came during the night and filled the whole park, the whole campground up with floodwaters. I even think they called it like a 500-year flood. I mean, a little river that's normally a foot or two deep was 22 foot deep or something like that. It was crazy. I mean, it washed away campers and stuff. They said they were staying in their camper, and what woke them up was the camper was floating. Like the water was coming up so fast that their camper trailer was floating in the water. And of course, by then people were screaming and shouting outside. They opened the door and the campground's full of water, and it's rushing water, it's raging water. And as they walked out, they had two little boys. One of their young sons was swept away by the current. I get choked up telling this story. They could tell it much better than I can. But the point is that young man was swept away. They're one of their two sons by the current, and they didn't. I mean, there's nothing they can do. It's in the middle of the night. It's dark. He's gone, and they went, and obviously got out themselves and tried to get to the shore and get to where people were pulling folks out. I mean, 20 people died in this deal. It was a real deal. But one of their son was one of the ones that was swept away. And every thought in the world runs through your head, and how, is he alive? Where's he at? What can we do? Can we go run downstream? This thing's rushing. It's crazy. It's uncontrollable. It's just mass chaos at some point. Now I'm going to jump ahead. They could tell the very details of the story and much better express the anguish that they had, and the frustration and the need to help, and the sense of urgency and all the stuff that was happening during that time. It just makes me have all kind of emotions just telling the story. But the point is, one of their sons was swept away. Now, for them, little do they know, somebody downstream was out there just scooping up people who had been swept away, and their son was in a group of people that was miraculously very fortunate to be at the right place at the right time, to be able to be pulled out of the swift current waters and onto shore to safety. Later on, after they went through all these emotions, did they finally find out that their son was okay, and that they truly could reunite with him. And what a reconciliation, what a reunion it was. My whole point's like this. Do we have a sense of urgency about the lost people around us? People have been swept away by the ways of this world, swept away by the currents of this world, swept away by the thinking of this world. Do we have a sense of urgency to go tell people, hey, Jesus Christ is the way? If you want to talk about eternal life, I'm not talking about physical life here on earth, even though he promises to give it abundantly. I'm talking about an eternal life. Do we have a sense of urgency? Are we sitting on the shoreline going, what do we do next? Who do we talk to next? Who's out there scooping people up out of the rushing waters and to keep them from getting swept away? Now, I know people are going to die. In that particular event, 20 people died. They couldn't save them all, but they could save the ones that they could get their hands on, and they had a sense of urgency to do it. The world sure could use a little good news today.